pushing his football team. And all I can tell you is that we're all very conscious of that, and we're all working really hard at that.
Steve, you mentioned special teams. That's another area that sometimes when new staff takes over, sometimes it takes a while for guys to adjust. Sometimes there's mistakes. You guys have been kind of the opposite end of that. Your coaching has been sound. You already had a couple of blocks. What's been the secret there? Because there's another area that always stood out for you guys.
There's no secret. It's just really hard work. You know, Zach Smith runs our special teams. All of our coaches are invested in it. It's a part of our plan to win. You know, it's not lip service by me. I put all of our emphasis in there. I'm in those meetings, you know, and you know, it's been a part of. That's how I was brought into this business. So I can't fake it. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's what it is, and the kids clearly got that message. Those are the roughest meetings in our football team. You are absolutely held the most accountable. You better not have any thin skin in those meetings in special teams, because those meetings are brutally honest and to the point, and you are held extremely accountable for every one of your actions. So that mindset is in that room right there, and so they're developing well at a fast pace. And I think once again, I think they buy into the fact that we can have an edge in special teams in most of the games we play, and we're going to get every edge that we can get. Now this week we're playing a team that shares that same philosophy. You know, like I said, it's not as common as a lot of people say that's their philosophy, but when you press play, it's not. It's just not. Commitment of who their players are, you can just see it. But when you press play on Toledo, they own that philosophy. And so, you know, it'll be a matchup game from that standpoint. And that's one of our deals, that we want to find an edge there. So we're in a race there.
When you see a guy like Malcolm Eugene, who had a good junior college career as a receiver, but hasn't put up big numbers as a receiver just yet, but then on one play he's sealing off an important block on a run, and then he's involved in a punt block, does that satisfy you just as much as a coach? Is it like a big run you say it's
more? More. Streeter's activity on special teams, I told him that the other day, way more impresses me than catching some fade route, okay? Because that speaks to my experiences. Like, you guys know Riley Cooper, right? Plays for the Eagles, right? Riley Cooper at Florida made his name on special teams at Florida. He was the guy that we beat LSU at home that year. He came off and took the air off the edge and hit that kid on like the 6-yard line that set up our ability to beat LSU. Our philosophy is you earn your stripes in this football team on special teams. You earn that. And if you're a tough guy and you love football, you're gonna compete in that room, and you're gonna make plays in special team. Anybody can go catch a fade. If you think like, you know, if you're preoccupied with the passing game, then I'll help you out. You won't play on offense. You got to play on special teams. So that's our mindset. Malcolm Eugene is trying to make a mark for himself on special teams. The second phase for a receiver is, once again, not catching a fade route. Block the perimeter in the run game. If you're willing to block, if you're willing to help on special teams, block the perimeter, then we'll throw you a pass to see if you can catch it. Okay? And in the same breath, in the passing game right now, in fairness to those guys, you know, you're not going to put up big passing numbers right now with, you know, other than the Penn State game, you know, we've had our way running the football. So, you know, those numbers are always going to be a reflection, you know, we couldn't even, you know, we went in that game like we're going to have a really balanced mindset, but, you know, come on, at that point, that's just, what are you doing? Just throw the ball, throw it now? It doesn't make any sense. So, special teams, block the perimeter, and then those big catches are going to come. And there'll be helmet throws. When we threw them, there were helmet throws a little bit on Saturday. So.
You talked about Eric Page. What makes him such a good receiver? I mean, is he a great route runner? Is he quick?
He's a dynamic athlete. He's a fast, change the direction, dynamic athlete. You know, and those guys, you know, get him in space, get him matched up a little bit, and they get open, make plays, get the ball in their hand. You know, they're dynamic. That's what they want to do. That's their deal. I mean, I know. I've lived in that offense. I know what that is.
Does Bernard Pierce's running style remind you of anybody, particularly Steve? You could have ran.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Kind of Julius Jones a little bit. Reminds me of Julius. He's a combination of Julius. When I was at Notre Dame, Julius Jones and Ryan Grant. Kind of a combination for the guys that I've personally been involved with coaching. Those two guys, a combination of those two guys, he reminds me of those two guys. That niche right there. Like Julius had that deceptive speed, and you know, and Ryan had that slashing power. I think, you know, Bernard's kind of that combination somewhere in there. I'm not, you know, pinpointed exact, but if you ask me, that's kind of what I would say.
What does it say about his talent and ability that he's looks like he's gonna break Palmer's record.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got the ability, you know. I mean, and I think the thing that Bernard's working on is the sustaining, you know, that level of play throughout the season. We're only going, you know, into the 5th game of the year, and there's a lot of football left to play. So, you know, that's you know, anytime you're a power back or a back in a real run style offense, you're going to take a lot of shots. He takes a lot of shots. So it's the ability to sustain your health and, you know, fight through those injuries, because if you don't think, like, you know, his legs are yesterday and today are banged up, I mean, they really are, and that's hard. It's hard to learn how to kind of get through that, and I think he's adapting that. And then, of course, he's working on other facets of his game. You know, he wants to keep working on pass protection and catching the ball in the backfield, which are all things that I think that he can improve in those areas. So, but his natural running ability is, I think, is really good, really innate. You know, it's really good.
We talked to Chester after the game. He said, "I can control my attitude. So when I allow my attitude, my confidence to get low, it shows. And you know, if I focus on positive things, it helps me." How have you seen him in these past couple of days after he comes off a game like that, where he doesn't throw an incompletion and really steps up big in a big game?
Well, I thought in a big game he played really well. He played within himself. He was a leader. His demeanor was great. He didn't rise and fall on little things that were happening. I really liked his demeanor. You know, it's a work in progress. I mean, you know, every challenge is a new challenge. I mean, you know, we clearly jumped out in that game, led from the beginning, and you know, kind of over by half. And you know, another challenge might be a game where we have to come from behind, or all those things. You know, but I think he's trying to carry that mindset of overcoming. Everyone always wants to take the things they feel they didn't do well before and work on changing them. And change is hard, but I see change in Chester. Is he a finished product? No, I'm saying no. But I'm saying I see a guy that's absolutely every day working at those things, those deficiencies that he wants to make better. Anybody else? Well, getting that word out so that we have a great turnout here on Saturday.